Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really profound and honestly incredibly practical philosophy for life. It's one that, despite its power, often gets overlooked in our constantly busy, distracted world. We're going to explore the central metaphor that'll guide our whole discussion. The elegant and endlessly insightful idea of life as a river.
And you're spot on calling it profound, because this isn't just like a charming analogy or a nice phrase. It's a powerful framework,
Yeah.
really comprehensive, actually. And it's been distilled from, well, a fascinating mix of wisdom traditions and modern insights. We're talking everything from ancient proverbs, the ones that guided people for centuries, right up to the latest thinking from contemporary thought leaders. Productivity, psychology, personal development, it's all in there. Ultimately, it's a way to really help us understand our daily actions and their cumulative impact, how they shape where we end up, our destiny, you could say, one drop at a time.
That's exactly it. For this deep dive, we've gathered insights from, wow, a truly rich tapestry of sources. We're drawing from reflections on daily excellence, understanding that consistent effort. We've also got a special guide for young people, offering timeless wisdom, but in a really accessible way. And there's a philosophical exploration, too, focusing on intentional living, which kind of broadens the perspective on purpose.
Right. And these sources, even though they vary quite a bit in tone, who they were written for, even when they were written, they all seem to converge. They come together on this core understanding
Yeah.
that the conscious application of focus, having a deliberate perspective, and, well, a deep temporal awareness, how we see and use time, that these things can combine, and combine in really powerful ways to create meaningful, lasting progress in our lives. They're all kind of echoing the same fundamental truths, just, through different lenses, different angles on the same river.
Absolutely. So, our mission for you today, our listener, is to unpack these ideas. We want to help you see exactly how you can navigate your own personal river with, well, greater purpose and real power, making sure that every single day truly counts. It's about taking these big ideas and making them concrete, yeah? Applicable to your life right now.
Hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even start? How do we find that direction in the first place?
The problem of scattered waters, why direction matters.
We all feel it, don't we? That constant pull. 1,000 different directions at once. We live in this age of nonstop distractions, notifications pinging, competing priorities. It feels like it's designed to scatter our attention. And it's so incredibly easy for our energy or effort to feel dispersed, spread thin. You end the day feeling busy, exhausted even, but what did you actually move forward? It's frustrating.
It really is. It's a universal struggle, I think, especially now. Our first source, it echoes the wisdom of John D. Rockefeller Jr., actually. Zeroes right in on this. He said, "Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, no matter what may be one's aim." Now, okay, on the surface, that might sound a bit rigid, almost like tunnel vision, which maybe isn't always helpful. But what Rockefeller and our sources, too, are really getting at isn't about ignoring everything else. It's about channeling power. Think about it like a light source. If the light's diffuse, spread out, it barely illuminates anything, right?
Yeah.
But focus it into a laser. It can cut through steel. That's the kind of power we mean. Concentrated, directed energy.
And the sources illustrate this so beautifully using water. It's simple but powerful, something we just get. So imagine water spread out, no clear direction, no course to follow, maybe spilling over a wide, flat plain. What happens then?
Well, what happens, as the sources describe it, is that when water disperses like that, without clear direction, it creates swamps. Stagnant pools. They might look busy inside reeds growing, insects buzzing, slow movements. But fundamentally, they lack that concentrated force, the power to shape their environment, to move purposefully forward. They just circulate endlessly. No real progress towards a meaningful destination.
Yeah.
It's a perfect picture of energy that's active, maybe even intensely active, but ultimately ineffective. Busy, but going nowhere.
When that exact same water gathers itself, finds a channel, into a river, it channels its energy along a defined, consistent course. And bam, it transforms. It becomes one of nature's most powerful forces. I mean, just think of the Colorado River carving the Grand Canyon. It's not just about the amount of water flowing through. A flood has massive volume, sure, but it causes chaos, then it's gone. It's about the direction. And crucially, that sustained momentum over vast amounts of time. Even a tiny trickle, if it keeps its direction, keeps flowing. It can carve deeper, more sustainably than a huge, uncontrolled flood. It's focus, not just volume.
And this metaphor,
Yeah.
it maps directly onto our human experience.
Right.
Every part of our lives, our potential energy, our ambitions, our skills, when they're dispersed across too many things, Too many half-started projects, scattered interests. It creates that psychological swampland we just talked about. We feel incredibly busy rushing around, reacting constantly. But ultimately, we're ineffective. We're moving in circles,
Yeah.
not making real meaningful progress toward a goal we've actually defined. It's that feeling, constantly paddling, but not really going anywhere that matters.
But when we channel that same energy into a clear direction we've chosen, like water finding its riverbed, deepening its channel through that consistent flow, we develop this astonishing power. The power to carve our own path through obstacles that maybe once seemed impossible, completely insurmountable. It's about consciously, actively deciding, where is my river going to flow? Not just letting it wander or be pushed around by external stuff or, whatever grabs our attention in the moment. So what does this mean for you listening right now? For your daily choices, your dreams, how you approach life's big questions? Are you designing your river or just letting it meander?
The real challenge then, it isn't just picking a direction, which, let's be honest, is hard enough with so many options. It's maintaining that flow, that consistent current across the vast and often unpredictable landscape of time. Because without understanding how time itself really works, how it functions as this creative force, our efforts can still just dissipate, fade away. And that understanding, that's what leads us straight into our next crucial insight. Because time, it's the medium, the very water our river flows through.
Understanding time, the river's medium.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe a little mind-bending. One of our sources brings in Seth Godin's incredibly profound insight. It almost reframes how we think about, everything, he says. Time is simply nature's way of making sure everything doesn't happen all at once. Just pause on that for a second. Such a simple sentence, right? But wow, the implications for how change actually happens.
It totally reframes time, doesn't it? It stops being this rigid box we're stuck in or just a clock ticking down relentlessly. Instead, it's revealed as the medium itself, the essential current, the flow through which all transformation happens, all growth, all progress. Think about a river starting at its source, maybe a tiny mountain spring or where a few streams quietly join. Our intentional living, our ability to actually shape our future and make a real impact, it has to start with understanding this truth about time, appreciating it. It's canvas, the canvas our river flows on.
And it explains why we, as humans, often struggle so much. Why it's hard to really grasp concepts like evolution, or the incredible power of compound interest, how small amounts grow huge over time, or even just skill development, that slow, painstaking, often invisible process.
Yeah, invisible is the key word there.
These things unfold over these vast landscapes of time, so daily progress, it seems tiny, insignificant, excruciatingly slow sometimes. It's hard to see the Grand Canyon being carved one drop at a time, isn't it? We want results now.
Exactly, the Grand Canyon, that magnificent testament to nature's power. The Colorado River didn't carve that in a single dramatic flood. Or overnight. It was millions upon millions of years. Persistent, daily, seemingly insignificant flow. If you were standing there watching it, say, 1,000,000 years ago, each day's contribution, utterly negligible, you wouldn't see it. Yet, the cumulative effect, that sustained, consistent flow, created something magnificent. And it's the same with meaningful human achievements. They rarely, if ever, happen through sudden breakthroughs. They're almost always the result of sustained, consistent effort, day after day. Year after year. It's the small daily deposits that build the delta.
Our sources really nicely distinguish between two basic ways we can relate to this river of time. We can, for instance, go from yesterday to today as a bystander, floating on the currents of change. That's the passive approach, right? Just drifting along, reacting to whatever comes your way. Like a leaf on the water. No steering, no intent, just ending up wherever the currents happen to take you.
Or, and this is where the real power lies, when we are at our best, we actually create our future with intent. Now, this doesn't mean we can control everything. Of course not. There will always be unexpected storms, droughts, rocks in the path we didn't see coming. But we absolutely can influence our river's direction, its momentum, its depth. How? Through our daily choices. These are the choices that consistently reinforce the course we've chosen. They guide us forward. Instead of letting us drift into stagnant pools or get stuck in eddies going nowhere, it's about being the captain, not just a passenger on your own ship.
Think about that classic story, and maybe you've heard it, Maya and Alex. Two kids, both dreaming of being great soccer players. Maya kind of drifted, always telling herself, I'll start practicing seriously later when I'm older or when the season starts. She floated on that current of good intentions,
We all know that current.
Right? But Alex understood this principle. Time is a creative medium. She thought, every single day I practice, even just 15 minutes, it makes my future self a stronger player. So Alex committed. Practiced a little bit every single day, even when it was hard, when friends were doing other stuff or she didn't feel like it. 2 years later, Maya was, well, pretty much the same player. Potential energy scattered. But Alex, she was amazing, a standout, because her daily practice was like constantly adding water to her river, drop by drop, day by day. That small, consistent flow built this unstoppable momentum.
And this totally transforms the idea of strategy. It's not some abstract business thing anymore. It becomes immediate, personal, deeply practical for you. As Godin puts it, strategy is the hard work of choosing what to do today to improve our tomorrow. It's not about grand plans gathering dust in a binder. It's about the tangible, intentional choices we make right now, in this moment, that actively shape what comes next. Your daily habits, how you choose to spend the next hour, that is your strategy playing out.
It's about consciously directing your personal tributaries, your precious attention, your finite energy, your resources, making them flow together, unified, towards your chosen destination, not scattering them into a million unproductive little side channels. If your goal is, say, learning French, are you consistently directing a small tributary of time to practice daily? Or are you letting that energy just dissipate into, I don't know, endless scrolling?
Scrolling swamp.
Exactly. So as you're listening, just take a moment. What stands out to you about how you currently approach time? Are you mostly drifting? Or are you actively steering your river, consciously directing its flow?
Choosing your current attitude and perspective.
Okay, so our sources make this really bold statement. And at first you might think, okay, that sounds a bit too simple.
Yeah.
Maybe even cliche. It's the only difference between success and failure is one's attitude.
Nice.
Most of us hear that, nod, maybe think sure, and then move on. Right.
Yeah.
But the river metaphor, it unpacks it beautifully, shows its real depth, turns it from a platitude into like an operating principle.
It really does. Consider this. Imagine two rivers flowing through identical terrain, side by side, similar sources, yet they can actually have totally different characteristics, right? One might be fast-moving, clear, with strong, defined banks. It cuts efficiently, powerfully through its environment, carries debris away, shapes the landscape. The other, maybe it's sluggish, muddy, its edges are undefined, constantly spreading out into marshland, losing momentum, losing clarity, leaving silt everywhere. The external conditions might be the same, but their character, their current, is completely different. And that difference, often it's not about the external stuff. It's about the river's accumulated momentum, the clarity of its course, the strength of its channel.
And attitude functions in exactly the same way. It's like the riverbank that channels our energy. It fundamentally determines whether our efforts flow with focused power, building momentum, shaping our world, or if they just dissipate, wander off ineffectively, creating that psychological swampland we mentioned earlier. Think about two people facing the exact same setback, maybe a failed project at work or a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
One person might let that frustration create this muddy, stagnant pool of negativity. Their whole flow just slows down, maybe even stops. While the other person, with a different attitude, they maintain clear banks. They choose to see it as, okay, what can I learn here? They see it as something that deepens their channel for next time, finds a way around the obstacle instead of just being blocked by it.
Ryan Holiday's insights on parenting illustrate this really well, this generative power of attitude. And it goes way beyond parenting. When he asks if we choose to inspire or disillusion our kids, he's highlighting how our perspective becomes a shaping force. He emphasizes finding good and praising it, which is a concept the author Alex Haley also deeply believed in for writers. His job, he said, was to find good and praise it. Yeah. Now, this isn't just some feel-good idea. It's recognizing how our focus directs energy. It's profound. If you only look for problems, guess what? You'll only find problems. But if you deliberately look for the strengths, for what is working, for solutions, you actively direct your attention and therefore your energy towards those possibilities.
And this applies everywhere, doesn't it? All forms of leadership, influence, and maybe most importantly, our internal dialogue, how we talk to ourselves. When you choose to talk up what we want to see instead of constantly bemoaning all the evil and wrongness in a situation, in yourself and others, you're actively shaping the flow, not just for you, but for everyone around you too. You're building and reinforcing a clearer, more positive channel for energy, for action. It changes the whole ecosystem of your river and its surroundings.
Psychologically, this works in a few powerful ways. They mirror water dynamics, actually. First, there's the Pygmalion effect you touched on. People tend to flow towards the channels of our expectations. If you genuinely expect growth, positive outcomes, you interact differently. You subtly encourage that potential. A leader might give more challenging tasks, offer specific positive feedback, show belief. It actively shapes performance. It's not just positive thinking, it's positive action based on expectation. Second, our focus literally determines which opportunities, which tributaries we even notice and can channel. Looking for problems, you'll find them. Looking for solutions, suddenly they appear. And third, our emotional tone. It influences others to join their energy with ours, affects the overall volume, the power of our combined flow. Emphasizing possibility aligns us with that natural human drive for progress.
The guide for young people suggests this really fun, insightful experiment. You can try it yourself, maybe just for one day to start. Every time something doesn't go your way, instead of getting upset, frustrated, which is kind of our default, right?
Oh, yeah.
Try asking, okay, what can I learn from this? Or, how can this help me get stronger?
And this isn't about pretending everything's rosy or ignoring real difficulties. That's like ignoring a big rock in the riverbed. No, it's about maintaining a clear channel, even when you hit obstacles. It's about consistently looking for ways to learn to grow, like a wise river finds a way around the rocks, or gradually wears them down, or finds a new path. Instead of just stopping dead, this conscious choice, it shapes the very character, the essential current of your personal river. It turns potential blockages into chances for new routes or deeper channels.
The power of consistent flow excellence without perfection.
Okay, so this understanding of attitude, direction, choosing our current, it leads us to something really crucial and honestly incredibly liberating. It comes from golf coaches Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott. You're not obligated to win. You're obligated to do your best every day. That's it.
Wow, I mean, that's not just about sports, is it? That's a life philosophy. It frees us from so much anxiety, that paralyzing fear of failure. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It liberates us from that whole turbulence of perfectionist thinking, that constant need for the perfect outcome, and the crippling fear of falling short. But, and this is key, it does it while maintaining the consistent, powerful current that actually drives genuine, lasting achievement.
Rivers are perfect teachers here. They fluctuate, right? Volume, speed changes with seasons, weather. But their power comes from maintaining their essential direction and consistent flow, not perfect uniformity. A river trying to be perfectly uniform all the time, it would either boost its banks in a flood or vanish in a drought. Our best effort is contextual. It varies. But our commitment to giving our best, that can be unwavering.
Outcomes, like winning the game, getting that specific job, hitting a certain financial target, they really depend on so many variables, stuff often way beyond our direct influence.
Totally beyond our control sometimes.
Market conditions, other people's choices, timing, global events, just plain luck sometimes. We simply can't control all the external forces hitting our river or the landscape it's flowing through. But the quality of our daily flow, and this is the crucial bit, our effort, our preparation, our decision-making, our attitude, that stuff remains squarely within our sphere of influence. These are the elements we can control consistently. By focusing our sense of obligation on that, on maintaining this consistent quality flow rather than trying to manipulate the final destination, we free ourselves up. We can perform at our highest level. We learn to trust that consistent, excellent daily flow will naturally carry us towards meaningful outcomes over time. Even if we can't see the whole map of the river yet, it's about doing your best today. Trusting today's best builds towards tomorrow's success.
Legendary coach John Wooden, famous for his whole philosophy of success, he added another really profound layer to this idea of daily excellence. He said, "You can't live a perfect day without doing something for someone who will never be able to repay you." This isn't about grand public gestures, is it? It's about the daily, quiet, often invisible acts of contribution.
Wooden, arguably one of the most successful coaches ever, he recognized that daily excellence truly comes from contributing to things bigger than just ourselves, our own self-interest. It's like countless small tributaries feeding a greater watershed, rather than just isolated pools serving only themselves. Think about a mountain stream. It doesn't expect direct benefit, does it? Not from feeding the Valley River or the ocean. Yet the entire system, the whole ecosystem, depends on its generous flow. This principle, maybe we could call it unreturnable service. Acts of generosity done purely for the intrinsic value of helping. No expectation of getting something back directly. It cultivates humility because you're letting go of controlling the outcome. And it trains us to find motivation inside, in the value of the contribution itself. That creates way more sustainable energy for our river than any external reward ever could. So a perfect day, in Wooden's view, becomes one where we've maintained a strong, generous flow towards meaningful ends, regardless of the immediate results we see. It's about giving your water to the larger system.
Nilsson and Marriott also give us another powerful piece of advice, almost counterintuitive at first. They say, never say I can't. Skills are developed by developing skills. Things are learned by trying things. It sounds like a riddle, but it's packed with insight, isn't it?
It really is. That seemingly circular logic points to a deep truth. Our channels deepen through use. Simple as that. When we hit something beyond our current abilities, it's not a permanent blockage, not like a giant dam stopping the river cold. Instead, it's an area where we need to develop new channels or increase our volume through consistent practice and persistence. The phrase, I can't, transforms. It goes from being a statement of permanent limitation to simply meaning my current flow isn't sufficient yet.
Ah, the yet.
Exactly. That yet changes everything. It immediately opens up a whole different set of possibilities for action, for growth, for development. If you want to learn coding, you don't say, I can't code. You say, my coding skill isn't sufficient yet, so I'll practice. That small shift empowers you to start the process, develop the skills, which in turn deepens your river's capacity.
Navigating the rapid strength from turbulence.
Okay, this leads us to Ernest Hemingway's really powerful, sometimes maybe stark observation. He wrote, the world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. Now, this isn't about, seeking out pain or hardship, not at all. But it's a profound understanding, almost unavoidable, about how we can emerge from adversity, emerge with new capabilities, deeper resilience.
Rivers, again, give us such powerful metaphors for this. When a river hits obstacles, rocky terrain, a sudden drop, a narrow gorge, it doesn't just stop, does it? It creates rapids. Sections where the water moves faster, gets more turbulent, and often demonstrates its power most dramatically. Now, navigating rapids can definitely be dangerous, challenging. It takes skill, courage. But they also reveal a river's true strength, its resilience. And they often create the most spectacular, memorable features of the waterway. It's in the rapids that a river often carves deepest.
It's so crucial, though, to understand this carefully. Hemingway isn't saying turbulence or difficulty is good in itself, or that we should go looking for treacherous rapids.
Yeah, definitely not.
Instead, he's observing that when difficult passages are navigated skillfully with resilience, a learning mindset, conscious effort, they can develop capacities inside us. Capacities that would just never emerge in consistently calm, easy waters. It's the difference between being just tossed about by the rapids versus learning how to actually ride the current. Right.
Think about our bodies. When muscles get exercised, get a bit sore, they grow back stronger. Or if you break a bone and it heals properly, that spot is often stronger than it was before, fortified. Emotionally, psychologically, it's similar. Skillfully navigated challenges, when we choose to learn from them, not be consumed by them, they become these profound sources of wisdom, compassion, resilience, maybe deeper empathy after a significant loss, or incredible insight about change after overcoming addiction. Better judgment after a business failure. The key phrase Hemingway uses is, afterward many are strong, meaning how we choose to navigate, how we integrate those experiences, that makes all the difference. It's in the healing that the strength emerges, a deeper strength forged in that crucible.
And this connects so beautifully to Albert Einstein's wisdom, that enduring quote, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. It sounds like a big statement about global conflicts, but it applies so deeply to our personal rivers too. How we navigate our own internal conflicts, our interpersonal ones.
Einstein saw that lasting solutions, whether global or internal, require working with natural forces, not just trying to overpower resistance head-on. Rivers show us this all the time. They achieve smooth, sustainable flow, not by trying to smash every single obstacle. That'd be chaos, unsustainable. Instead, they find ways to work with the landscape, flowing around obstacles, gradually wearing down resistance through persistent pressure, finding creative alternate routes that reveal new possibilities, deeper channels. It's about adapting, not just resisting.
So this means that navigating your own difficult rapids with understanding yourself, the challenge, others involved, that process can develop the very qualities needed to create peace and understanding in bigger contexts. Your family, your community, your work. Those broken places, when they're healed and integrated through understanding, they can actually become sources of connection, profound insight. Rather than just sources of lasting division, you become a more empathetic, more adaptable, and ultimately a more peaceful force in the world.
Guiding tributaries, leadership, and influence.
Our sources highlight this really critical balance. It's absolutely essential in coaching, parenting, any kind of leadership, really. It's that in coaching, you must have both empathy and accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dynamic duo, isn't it? For guiding others effectively, a fundamental principle for cultivating strong, purposeful tributaries that feed a larger river.
Exactly. Like experienced river guides navigating a complex waterway. True leaders have to master this tricky balance. First, they have to accept the current conditions of the waters, genuinely understand where people are starting from, their strength, challenges, fears. That's empathy. But at the same time, they have to provide clear direction, structure, guide people toward safer, more productive channels, set expectations, hold people to commitments. That's accountability. A healthy river system does both, right? It accepts water from lots of tributaries without judgment, embraces their unique flows, but it also provides direction, structure, integrates those flows into a more powerful combined current that can achieve collective goals.
Because empathy without accountability, that just leads to stagnant pools.
Yep.
It feels supportive, sure, but it completely lacks the momentum people need to actually reach meaningful destinations or develop their full potential.
They feel comfortable, but they don't grow.
Exactly. And on the flip side, accountability without empathy. That's like an artificial concrete channel. It might drive short-term compliance,
Yeah.
force people to move fast in a certain direction, but it often creates huge resistance, internal resentment, and it fails to build that internalized motivation, that self-direction that sustains progress long-term.
It's the difference between a concrete canal, efficient but sterile, and a natural river, vibrant, self-sustaining. Which brings us back to Ryan Holiday's point about focusing on positive behaviors, choosing to inspire or disillusion. Effective leaders, like skilled river guides, they identify emerging strengths, potential in others, and they call attention to it. They actively create conditions where those strengths can naturally grow into powerful currents. They guide through clear vision, consistent support for development, highlighting success, not just constant criticism or only pointing out flaws. For example, a teacher might say, look, I see you're struggling with this math concept, but your persistence, how you keep trying different ways, that's truly impressive. Let's build on that persistence. See, it reinforces the positive flow, encourages deeper engagement.
And then there's that timeless Spanish proverb. It really hits home, sums up the impact of our environment so well. Dime con quién andas, y te diré quién eres. Tell me who you spend time with, and I'll tell you what kind of person you are. This isn't just about picking your friends, is it? It's recognizing we inevitably absorb qualities from the waters we flow alongside, from the people, the content, the environments we immerse ourselves in. Your river is shaped by the landscape around it, including the other rivers it joins.
Which means the mentors, colleagues, influences, even the media you consciously choose to flow with, they profoundly shape your own leadership, the very qualities of your personal river. If you spend time with people who are stagnant or whose rivers flow in chaotic, destructive ways, well, your own river's character will likely reflect that over time. And conversely, when you model empathy, accountability, positive focus, daily commitment in your own interactions, you actively create cultural conditions that support and encourage similar qualities in others around you. It's not about one big dramatic intervention. It's the consistent, gentle, yet powerful influence over time that gradually shapes the landscape for everyone in your sphere, guiding other tributaries into a more powerful, purposeful flow.
Building the delta, creating lasting impact.
Chuck Palahniuk gives us this profound capstone insight. It really ties together all these themes: purpose, time, impact. He says, the goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will. It's a powerful idea, almost spiritual maybe, especially in a world often celebrating individual achievement above all. How can you, just one person, actually create something that lasts, something that endures beyond your own journey, beyond your lifetime?
Rivers give us the perfect, most beautiful metaphor for this. For enduring impact. Think about it. No single river lasts forever in the exact same form, right? Channels shift, sources change, landscapes evolve over geological time. Yet, rivers create deltas where they meet the ocean. They deposit these incredibly fertile sediments, rich soil, nutrients, organic matter. And these deposits support abundant life, vast ecosystems, long after the river's original flow has joined the sea. And here's the powerful part. The most powerful rivers, the ones with the most consistent, clear, voluminous flow, they create the richest, most expansive deltas, spreading nutrients wide, supporting diverse ecosystems for countless generations. Your river, no matter its size, has the potential to build its own fertile delta.
So, your daily choices, they're like those fertile deposits, moment by moment, day by day. The kindness you show, the skills you work hard to develop and master, the problems you patiently solve for others for a bigger cause, the beauty you create through work, art, words, all of these become fertile deposits that help other people grow and thrive. They're the seeds of lasting impact, accumulating into something far greater than their individual moments.
Think about it practically. A dedicated teacher helps students think clearly. They're creating intellectual tributaries. Those will flow through countless future decisions those students make, impacting careers, families, communities for decades.
Yeah, ripples outwards.
Exactly. A parent modeling resilience, kindness. They deposit emotional nutrients into their kids' lives, nutrients that might sustain them through tough times decades later. A friend offering encouragement during a hard time. They contribute to a psychological watershed, supporting another person's capacity for hope, for growth. These contributions ripple outwards in ways you, the original source, might never fully see or comprehend, like nutrients flowing invisibly through a vast river delta, sustaining life far beyond their origin. Your personal river creates legacy through these consistent, intentional deposits.
And this idea is beautifully complemented by that timeless Chinese proverb, the one that speaks directly to our tendency towards regret or procrastination. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now.
It acknowledges that very human feeling, doesn't it? Wishing we'd started earlier. See opportunities only after the perfect time seems to have passed. Feeling overwhelmed by how much time we've already lost. But crucially, it simultaneously emphasizes that delayed action, when taken now, creates far more lasting value than no action at all. The river that starts flowing today, right now, will, over time, still create its own magnificent landscape of influence, support its own unique ecosystem of life. 20 years from now, countless forms of life, countless opportunities will depend on the river that starts its journey in this very moment. So whether it's learning a skill, building a relationship, starting that passion project, or just choosing a new, more positive attitude, the most important moment to begin is always, always now. The quality of your delta starts today.
Daily flow management, practical applications.
Okay, so how do we take all these big philosophical ideas, rivers, time, purpose, attitude, persistent effort, lasting impact, and translate them? How do we make them work in the nitty-gritty of your actual daily life? Our sources offer this really powerful, actionable concept, daily flow management, which is basically the conscious, deliberate guidance of your routine choices, like a skilled river captain navigating towards a chosen destination. It's not about being rigid, it's about being intentional.
And this transforms every single morning, doesn't it? It becomes this profound opportunity to set your river's course for the day. Instead of just reacting to whatever hits you first, letting yourself drift wherever the day's currents carry you, you can establish routines that actively reinforce your chosen direction. Start building momentum right away. This could be anything. A few minutes of quiet reflection on your intentions for the day. Visualizing your ideal flow. Maybe physical exercise to build energy and discipline, helping you navigate tough terrain later. Or perhaps reading something that expands your understanding gives you a better map for your river.
The key isn't the specific activity itself, is it? It's how it connects intentionally to your larger journey, your chosen river. For instance, someone whose river flows towards becoming a writer. They might start each day with consistent writing practice, adding daily deposits to their creative reservoir, even if they don't feel inspired.
That consistency builds.
Right, that daily 300 words. Over time, it builds a huge body of work. An ocean, someone focused on building stronger relationships, might start by expressing gratitude or planning small acts of service, actively reinforcing the channels for their care to flow outwards.
Could be just sending a thoughtful text, making a quick call, or simply being fully present with family.
These small daily acts, that's active management of their relationship river.
And decision-making throughout the day. That becomes another huge opportunity to apply these principles. When you're facing choices, how to direct your attention, your energy, what to focus on, what to prioritize, what to ignore, you can ask yourself these guiding questions. Questions that help maintain a productive, purposeful flow, like, will this choice help me become the person I want to be, the kind of river I aspire to be, or will this make my river stronger or weaker, clearer or muddier? Or maybe, how can I handle this problem like a wise river? Find a way around, wear it down, maybe even deepen my channel, instead of just crashing into it or stopping.
This also involves something we could call temporal perspective taking, like a regular conscious practice of imagining yourself downstream, a year from now, 5 years, even 20 years, and then asking, what would my future self, the person I'm becoming, the person I hope to be, want me to contribute to my river's flow today?
That's powerful.
If the goal is financial security in 20 years, what tiny drop can I add today? If it's a deep relationship, what small act of connection can I do now?
That mental exercise is incredibly powerful because it helps counteract our natural tendency to overemphasize the immediate gratification, immediate problems. and we tend to dramatically underweight long-term consequences, the power of compounding effort. Just like a wise river guide makes decisions based on the whole journey, upcoming bends, distant rapids, the ultimate destination, not just the ripple right in front or the next 10 feet, we can make our daily choices based on their cumulative contribution to our river's overall health, strength, direction. It's about building your future self actively, not just reacting to your present self's whims.
And remember, real rivers flow differently in different seasons, right? Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes huge volume, sometimes just a gentle trickle. Your energy, your mood, they'll change too. That's perfectly normal. So wise river management involves adjusting expectations, adjusting strategies based on your current conditions, not forcing some unsustainable pace.
Exactly. On high energy days, when your river's full, maybe take on bigger challenges. Push through difficult terrain, carve deeper channels, make significant progress. But on lower energy days, when your flow feels diminished, it's wise to focus on maintenance. Keep the channels clear, ready for the next high water period. Or maybe just allow for gentle restorative flow. The most important thing is maintaining that commitment, consistent progress, even if some days you only move a tiny bit, because a river that flows just a little bit every single day, given enough time, it will eventually carve a Grand Canyon. And a person who tries a little bit every day keeps the river flowing consistently. They will eventually accomplish amazing, seemingly impossible things. They'll transform their own landscape.
The ocean of accumulated intention, your greater contribution.
Okay, so all these ideas, all these profound insights, focus, time, attitude, persistent effort, they all converge on something really exciting, really inspiring, I think, which is you're not just some small stream wandering alone. In isolation, you are, in fact, part of this enormous, beautiful, interconnected system of rivers, all flowing toward the same amazing, vast ocean.
And that ocean, it represents all the good things, all the incredible achievements, all the flourishing that humans can collectively accomplish when we work together to support each other. It's the sum total of human progress, compassion, innovation, wisdom. Every single choice you make, choosing kindness, working hard at your studies or craft, learning new things, helping someone, being patient. It's like adding your unique water, your unique contribution to this great, ever-expanding ocean of human possibility, human progress.
Think about all the greats throughout history. The scientists, artists, teachers, inventors, they didn't just appear fully formed, did they?
Not at all.
They all started as kids, just like you listening now, making daily choices, letting their rivers flow towards good things, discovery, creation, helping others. They were adding their drops, building their streams, contributing to that larger flow of knowledge, beauty, progress. Their individual rivers fed the larger ocean.
And sometimes your daily choices, especially when you're young or just starting something new, they might feel incredibly small, almost insignificant. You might think, I'm just one person, big world. How can my little contribution really matter? But remember this, every single great river, every mighty current that carves canyons and sustains civilizations, it starts as tiny drops of water on a mountainside. Those drops join other drops, form small streams. Streams join other streams, become bigger streams. And eventually, all those tiny drops that seem so small, they become mighty rivers. Literally transforming landscapes, supporting entire ecosystems.
Your daily kindness, your consistent hard work, your flashes of creativity, your genuine care for others, they are exactly like those tiny drops. They might seem small now, in the moment, but they're joining with the efforts, the contributions of millions of others, across generations, across continents, to create something truly magnificent, something far greater than any one individual could achieve alone. It's the collective power of all those rivers flowing together.
And here's the best part. The most empowering truth, really. You absolutely don't have to wait. Not until you're grown up or have everything figured out or feel perfectly ready. Every day, right now, in this very moment, you can choose. Choose to be the kind of river that brings life and joy wherever you go. You can choose to work hard at things that matter to you. Choose to be kind to people who need encouragement. Choose to learn things that will help you solve problems later. These might seem like small choices, almost imperceptible day to day, but they are, in fact, the most important choices you'll ever make. They're the choices that determine what kind of river you become and what amazing, enduring contributions you'll make to that great flowing ocean of human goodness. Outro.
So we've journeyed through the wisdom of the river today, from the power of that single focused purpose to discovering the incredible strength we can find when navigating life's inevitable turbulence. It truly is a powerful, insightful way to think about your life, your choices, your future.
And this philosophy, it doesn't require extraordinary talent, does it? Or perfect circumstances, or some big revolutionary breakthrough. Instead, it asks for something far more accessible, yet profoundly sustainable. It asks for the consistent commitment to maintain a clear, steady flow with a defined direction, a positive current, and that daily dedication to excellence. Not perfection, but excellence.
Your river is flowing inside you right now as you listen. And here's the absolute truth. You get to choose where it goes, what course it takes, and what truly wonderful, life-giving things it will create in the
World, that vast ocean of human flourishing. It is truly counting on your river, your unique flow, counting on you to contribute its distinct qualities, its strengths, its kindness to the larger currents of humanity. It needs your water.
The future watershed of human flourishing depends not on any single dramatic, heroic gesture from one person. It depends on the collective contribution of millions of individual rivers, flowing with intention, persistence, and profound care toward the vast ocean of our shared potential. What kind of river will you choose to be today?